It's the National Football League on EA Sports. And we'll see this team's sure-handed wide receiver. He's going to be a busy man in the passing game. It's going to be a good one. And it comes your way next on Madden Football.
EA Sports coverage of the National Football League is on the air. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, you look at this Mexico City team as they enter play here. They were winners last time out, so they'll be looking, Charles, to make it 2 in a row.
And what I enjoyed when I watched their game tape and their victory last week is they put it together in every phase. Good offense, good defense, and some key plays on special teams. Let's see if they can get that second win in a row.
Meanwhile, for the visitors, Louisville, they've come in on a nice run of recent form. 4 wins out of 5.
And going back through the tape, I thought they looked pretty good last week. It was a solid win, a comprehensive win.
The final playoff push is upon us. It's week 12 of the NFL season, and we're underway on EA Sports. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get this up to the 29. So out comes this offense to take over for the first time. And they will be led out by their 6'6" quarterback.
And there's a lot of good to watch in the game last week. He threw 4 touchdown passes. A little bit of concern throwing the 2 interceptions.
Yeah, and the 2 pick.
Yeah, you want the ratio really to be closer to 3-1 as opposed to the 2-1 that he had. But it is something to build on. They did get the win, didn't they?
Yep. And an early how do you do right there as they're going to bury him in the backfield. Call it officially a loss of 2 on the first play from scrimmage. Second down. And they'll give him another shot here on the ground. And he'll get a couple up to the 29. But you look at this defense. They've been pretty good against the pass. Not amazing, but good. Number 13 in the league.
So in prepping for this game, I kept asking myself the question, what's keeping this group from being top 10 in the league against the pass?
And?
Too many mistakes, especially little mistakes. And those add up into big mistakes. Big mistakes add up into points against you.
And that went to the right side and incomplete.
That was their first third down try of the game, and clearly something was off in the execution of that play. Good news, they've got a whole game left to clean that up and start clicking on those key third down throws.
This is fielded at the 27. 42-yard punt, 6 on the return. And out will come the offense as they take over. So out comes this offense to take over for the first time. They'll be led out by their quarterback, a second-round pick back in April's draft.
I tell you what, when he is on schedule for that week, secondaries take notice because you've got to stay alert back there on every snap. A truly powerful arm, one that's capable of challenging any level of the defense on any given play. That's why so many scouts preach arm talent.
Oh, his first throw of the game going to be intercepted. And they will take over possession of the football at their 42-yard line. So a first interception thrown for him there, and that really not the best decision either.
Not at all, and that's something he did not do in their victory last week. No interceptions in that game, but this defense, they're able to take advantage of an early mistake. Now let's see if they're going to turn it into points.
The visitors' offense and their quarterback coming out for their second drive. And the numbers have looked good this season. Case in point right here. He is up there among the NFL leaders in TD passes. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. They'll start in excellent field position following the INT. And a good burst there gets him 7 up to midfield. Charles, they won last week despite him not running the ball well. They told us need to get him going. Runs like that help.
And they talked to us about leaning on him because, as you noted, last week they didn't have to. Still won the ball game. They leaned on other people to give them the yardage that they needed, but they really want him to be that guy, and that's what they're doing early in this game.
Back to throw now on first down. He finds his man, complete. That's Owens. A gain of 3 last play. This time they double it and pick up 6. These are his numbers from last week's contest. 9 catches, 111 yards.
And I'd certainly expect them to use him quite a bit because he runs excellent routes, has good hands, and knows how to get open.
And he's going to get this down near the 20-yard line. 19 yards that time for number 19.
And that's a more than acceptable read right there because it's zone coverage, so timing is everything. This time he waits for his man to come open, puts it right on him, and they pick up a first down.
On first down, they'll go to the ground attack. Trying to run inside, but nothing there. No gain on the play there. Second down. Hands it off out of the gun. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it. This defense, Charles, really played well in that win a week ago.
Yeah, and what stood out to me on tape, the way they were flying to the football. So that tells me that they've got all their assignments down, and they're playing with extreme confidence.
And they'll send the tight end in motion. From the gun on third down. Herrera. And this pass broken up. Well, the contact low time there, and now fourth down.
Brandon, watching their tape from last week, I saw plenty of plays like we just saw there, forcing incompletions. It was key in their win last week. They're hoping the same thing happens this time out, too.
And this one is right through. So he's been automatic to this point of the season, and he connects on the field goal there.
And what a luxury it is to have a kicker you can depend upon, partner, because he hasn't missed all year long. Converts on that one as well. And kudos to you. You didn't jinx him.
Oh, a good return up past the 30. A solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32. Back onto the field comes this offense, ready for their second drive. They threw an interception the first time they had the football, only gave up 3 points off of that, so shouldn't be a difficult hole to overcome. And he fumbled it. It's on the ground. The big man, get the oxygen tank ready. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover. And that's good for a gain of 6, and it'll be second down.
A 6-yard pickup brings up 2nd and 4 at the 40-yard line.
He'll keep it himself. That one will go for 9 yards and a first down on the keeper.
And this is one of those plays that if you can use it to keep the chains moving, it's a good play. And not only that, it tends to tamp down the pass rushers because they have to recognize this play and stay at home. The quarterback uses it well. Read option, keeps it, and picks up a first down with some nice running.
The numbers for him from a week ago: 5 catches, 95 yards.
And he was able to pull that last pass in, but he's going to face a tall order here because he's going up against the number 2 unit in the NFL against the pass.
They'll run out of the gun with Evans. And he's able to get it to the edge of the red zone at the 20-yard line. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down. Now a handoff up the middle. Burks. This will be a 5-yard pickup as they move it from the 20 to the 15.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
Brings up 2nd and 5.
Here's a quick throw caught out wide. Second catch for him today, and it'll wind up a first down. That was a lightning-fast decision that time. He just caught it and got rid of it.
Because he saw his guy was going to be open immediately, so he took the R, the run, out of the play. He took the O, the option, out of the play, and immediately got to the pass.
And that throw behind his man, he missed him, incomplete.
Well, they've got man coverage on the outside, and my scouting report on these DBs tells me that they love to take matters in their own hands. They want man coverage, not zone. And there was good coverage there that forced the incompletion.
The catch good for 6 yards, but now it's 3rd and goal. Back look to throw again. Under pressure now, and he's going to go down. Sack back around the 8. And that sack brings up 4th and goal, a loss of 7. Big play. And his kick is right there. It's good.
Well, I don't know if they would have gone for it on 4th and goal anyway, but the sack on 3rd down pretty much made their mind up for them.
You're exactly right about that. And this is a tough place on the field to take a sack because, as you just noted, it took the decision-making away from them. Now they have to go for a field goal instead of potentially going for it.
And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. And the Louisville offense back out now. And they, if you just look at this game, Charles, on paper, they've got the edge, no doubt. They're hanging around the top of the NFC. On the other side, you got a squad that's towards the bottom of the NFC. But when we mentioned that to the coaches, they were having no part of it.
Yeah, and I like how you said when we mentioned it. In fact, I mentioned it, and I upset them a little bit, didn't I? Because they wanted no part of that one, and I was reminded, like a 5-year-old, this is the NFL. Any given Sunday, anything can happen. They're guarding against the upset.
2 yards, good enough for a first.
But we always talk about good down and distance, allowing offenses to expand their playbook. Well, 2nd and 2, that means your playbook's wide open. You can run just about anything. But a lot of times, the play caller, he just looks down at his sheet, sees the short yardage runs, and goes to one of those.
And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. They pick up 12 on the play there, and they move the chains. They'll look to throw here on 1st down. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And they do finally get him, but he makes it all the way to the 6. And what a big-time play there. 46 yards.
They made that way too easy for them. No one is supposed to be that open against an NFL defense. Once he caught the ball, there wasn't anybody close enough to stop him, and he was able to continue downfield after making the catch.
Back to throw. Herrera. Touchdown! A great effort there with touchdown number 7 on the year. And his guys have taken the lead.
Well, Charles, he's still a young signal caller in this league, 2nd year in the NFL. And I don't know if last year as a rookie, if he would have worked through his progressions like he did on that touchdown pass.
I think you're right about that. We're seeing him grow up right in front of our eyes because when he went to his primary read, he recognized that they were all over that. So he continued to survey the field, picked up another target, delivered a pass exactly where it needed to be. A very mature play for the 2nd-year quarterback.
Extra point splits the uprights, and the lead is now 10-3. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away.
And a decent return out to the 27-yard line. Out is Mexico City now to go on offense.
Their drive last time, it stalled out. They were forced to take the short field goal.
And the key phrase, you nailed it, forced to, because you know coaches look at these short field goals as a last resort, right? To them, that's not how drives are supposed to end. You're supposed to put 6 on the board. That's a consolation prize. Like going to the county fair, you don't get the big stuffed animal on that one, do you?
No, you don't go top shelf. That's bottom shelf material.
Out of the gun, a give to Evans.
He'll be stopped at the 35, but not before he picks up 7 yards. They get 7 out of that, so they're left with a 3rd and 3. 10-3 our score after 1 here on EA Sports. On to the 2nd quarter. Mexico City in possession. 3rd and 3. As they've got it as we resume action. They'll try and run for it with Evans. And he will have a first down as they get into the ground at the 37. A 3rd down gain of 3 yards, and that'll be enough. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10.
He'll look to throw. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end.
They gave up the completion there, but this is what zone defenses count on. Catching the ball and not much run after the catch.
Evans running behind center.
Looking for a seam, but finding none. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. No gain on the play there, so they're left with a 3rd down and 6.
They are in need of 6 yards here if they hope to move the chains.
On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw.
Finding room at midfield.
And he's got it across the 50 to the 47-yard line. Second catch for him today, and it'll wind up a 1st down.
So he turned to a trusted, familiar face in that 3rd down situation. It paid off.
Yeah, you go to your veteran receiver in that spot, so you can't underestimate him when he's on the field. Defensively, make sure you know where he is because he understands how to get open in key situations.
And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up 2nd down.
It's now 2nd and 10.
They'll set up to throw.
On the throw led him too much that time. It's incomplete.
I know coaches tell us all the time that having a powerful arm isn't the #1 thing they look for in a quarterback. But when you're trying to throw inside routes and you need to put some heat on it, it helps have the big gun. In this case, just a little bit too much.
Pass taken in by his big tight end.
And he's going to get this one down to the edge of the red zone. A really good pickup of 28 yards.
How about a nod to the sequence of plays they're putting together here? This has been death by 1,000 paper cuts on this drive. But this is one of their best plays yet, and they're able to move it down into the red zone.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. The slot man in motion right.
He'll get it here on the jet sweep.
This will be a 5-yard pickup as they move it from the 20 to the 15.
Let's just make this one succinct. Nice job there. All 11 guys on defense diagnosing the jet sweep and putting it down.
2nd and 5. This will be caught at about the 6. And stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3. They'll drop to throw. And that'll be incomplete. We do have a penalty flag down, however. Let's see what that's about. Too far downfield, something those linemen have to watch out for, and that time it costs them.
Still 1st down.
From the gun, they'll try to run it.
And they'll get this from the 8 to the 5. Pickup of 3.
That's good power football on 1st and goal. A lot of teams will throw from there, but that's a nice job to chew up a few more yards and get yourself closer to the goal line.
On 2nd and goal, they'll give it to him again. And he's going to get him about 3 yards closer. He's down to about the 2. They've been denied touchdowns in the red zone twice already. Here comes 3rd and goal. Evans. And this is going to depend on his spot, but I believe he might be a few inches short. It'll be called a gain of 2, and that'll leave him with some options here on 4th and inches.
This is a long drive. Offensively, wouldn't you hate to end this with just 3 points?
Doesn't it feel like during a ball game you have certain narratives going on and there's certain drives that seem to take on just a bit more importance than others? This feels like one of those, doesn't it? To me, 3 points here, a major letdown. This is the time to go and put 6 on the board.
They're turned away on 4th and goal. And the ball will go over on the goal line stand. And they've now made 2 trips to the red zone and still looking for their first touchdown.
Not able to punch it in, and if you're on defense, your confidence is sky high. Because mentally, you're saying, hey, you're in the red zone, we're thinking we're giving up 3. We just want to give up 6. In this case, they end up not giving up the touchdown at all. They've got to feel great about what they got done.
They'll start on the ground here on 1st down. And a nice pickup as this one gets them to the 10-yard line. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4. And they'll keep leaning on the running game. Back to the ground. And they'll bring him down here right around the 17-yard line. 7 yards there and a first down.
That's a good, nice, crisp run for a first down. I wonder if the defense might have been loosened up a little bit, maybe anticipating a pass instead of the run that they got.
They go play action here on first down. And he's got his man in stride, complete. His second catch, this one not quite as dynamic as his first, and it's 2nd down. Looking to throw. Herrera throwing the out route and complete. That's Edwards. And he'll get this up past the 25 before he's out of bounds. They'll look to throw now on first down. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. That's a gain of 14.
Good, strong throw and catch right there. And so far in this game, the alleys have been open for them to get completions, and they're taking advantage of it.
Again, he'll drop to throw. And this one is going to be off the mark, too far out in front.
Nice progress down the field, was halted by that incompletion. They could try for some safe yards here to get things moving again, or keep throwing it and pushing it downfield to try and pick up bigger yardage.
And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. That'll leave them with a 3rd and 2 coming up. They got 8 yards there. They'll come to the line needing only 2 yards to gain the first here. Offensive line wasn't set. There's the flag, and 5 yards back they go.
Quarterback has to look around and make sure that his team is ready to go. Sometimes the quarterbacks go faster than is necessary.
The tight end in motion right. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end.
And he's going to be taken down. Plus, there's a penalty flag in the backfield. They may get 15 more on top of this. So roughing the passer penalty and an automatic first down.
And that's the mark of a bad team, partner, because that's an easily preventable penalty, but they just didn't take the proper steps to make it so.
The throw here right sideline falls incomplete.
Well, a momentary speed bump there with that throw, partner. The defense had other ideas, and they're trying to mount a small stand before this drive reaches the end zone.
They'll look to throw again. He's going to flip that out to the flat. It's complete. They do get a couple, but they'll be left staring at a 3rd and 8 coming up.
That's a good job there by the corner. We do talk about this a lot, that a lot of corners see their job as simply covering receivers. Tackling isn't everyone's thing. But in this case, he came up quickly and made a nice, short tackle. And based on my math, they've only converted 1 time thus far in this game, so you can see the frustration starting to come out a little bit. 3rd downs, they've been a problem for them all game. They've got to start becoming solutions.
And his kick is indeed good, and they will stretch their lead to 10 now at 13-3.
So that one on target, and it adds to this first half lead.
And maybe we're too early to worry too much about 1-score lead, 2-score lead, etc. But this is where you kind of start banking those points that come in helpful later on.
The lane opens here. He's past the 30. Out is Mexico City now to go on offense. It's been very much a slow start for them. 3 drives and just the 3 points, CD.
Yeah, if you're into the points per drive ratio, that answer is 1. And that's not going to get it done in a ball game. They've got to find a way to finish these drives in end zones, not having balls go through goalposts.
They'll begin on the ground with Evans. Yeah, boy, this defense again really making things tough on him as they stop him for no gain. Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play, and he couldn't even get going moving the football.
They get 6. That'll leave them with 3rd and 4.
I think we can safely say that those types of plays are the backbone of this offense. We know not every run's going to be a big hitter, but you know they'll take that type of result on each and every attempt.
3rd and 4. They'll look to throw here. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. And this 3rd down looking very tough after the holding penalty. 3rd and long. A give up the middle to Evans. And he'll only get this to about the 35. Well short of the line to gain. Now the defense going to use the first of their timeouts. So as they talk it over, we step aside. He punted 5 times in the win last week as this one's away. A 40-yard punt, give him 3 on the return. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. So here's Louisville set to take over on offense. And they split the uprights last time for 3. They've got the lead. They're not going to play this conservative. They're not hoping for another field goal. They're hoping for a touchdown.
I'm with you on that one. I like where your head is. I like the way you're thinking because you're exactly right. Trying to sit on a lead and play that way, that doesn't work too well for most teams. Run your offense. Run what you do best. Exactly. Put it all the way down and try and increase your lead in a big way. And the best way to do it, touchdowns.
Now on 1st down, he'll drop to throw it. And the coverage terrific there as that's knocked down and incomplete.
Well, he certainly thought he had a window to push that ball downfield, but as soon as he released the throw, the corner was there to slam that window shut.
And that one too far in front. He couldn't reel it in. It's incomplete.
Feels like they're getting caught in between here because they didn't completions on 1st and 2nd down. Now you got to worry a little bit about the clock because you prefer not to give them another shot here in the 1st half. But if you don't pick up the 1st down, guess what? You're likely going to have to.
And that is incomplete.
Coverage was awfully tight there on 3rd down. They actually closed off all the passing lanes, forcing the incompletion and bringing up 4th down.
Now on 4th down, on is the punt team sending this one away. And this will be out of bounds, and they spot it at the 15-yard line. Not too bad. Now this offense back out and set to go for their next drive. Charles, we'll see what they can do here. Not a ton of time left, but enough certainly to get points out of this drive, and they need them right now because they're trailing.
Yeah, and this is exactly why you practice a 2-minute drill all through camp and at least one practice each week before a game. A minute left, more than enough time to string a few completions together, reach the end zone, and then make that walk back to the locker room just a little more animated. That's a pretty throw right there. That ball's in the air a long time, but it's right on the money on the right sideline. A really good route. Moving the defenders towards the middle of the field before breaking to the sideline. What a completion there. Big-time arm strength. Very nice route. Well, this defense is going to have to finish the job. There's still a 2nd half that they have to play, but so far, an absolute total effort. They've disrupted the passing game, stressed the pocket for the quarterback. They forced him into errant throws. Everything they're doing has been executed well.
3rd and 8. He'll drop to throw. He had a man open, but he missed him, and it's incomplete.
It's going to be another frustrating end to a drive here. This offense, they've not been able to get anything going in this 1st half. And now it's going to be time to gather on the sidelines and try and figure out what's going wrong. Who has an idea? Who has a plan? Time to implement it.
So possession goes over here on the punt.
And they will take over 1st and 10. Back out comes this offense now late in this 1st half. And with a 2-score lead already, they may just look to get this thing to the locker room.
Throwing to start the drive. Herrera. Going to throw right side here. Complete. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. Now the offense will burn their 3rd and final timeout as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the 1st half of play. On 1st down, he'll drop to throw.
Looking left sideline, it's complete. And he is out of bounds inside the 35. 18 more yards there and another first down.
Now, how about this throw right here? Had to throw it to the left sideline, and you know the timing's got to be correct on this one. Ball's got to be right where it needs to be, and it was. That's because he had great arm strength on that one, able to drive the football. Quarterbacks love it when they can show off their arms.
Under pressure, and down he goes. It'll be a loss of 10, and it'll bring up second. So we reach halftime here in a 10-point game as we send you up to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman and our EA Sports Halftime Report.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. Things starting to get interesting in this final weekend before. We were certainly treated to an entertaining first half. Both these teams with some high points and maybe a couple of low points as well. So it's going to be a question of who can be the most disciplined team going forward.
And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28. This offense ready to go to begin this third quarter. And right out of the gate, they face what you'd think could be a pretty important drive.
I would say so. You know, they're down 2 scores. That's not the end of the world.
Oh, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. But that one is going to sting. First play of the third quarter and a turnover.
And you have to know that at halftime, they spent a lot of time going through their checklist of what they wanted to accomplish to start this third quarter. Turning it over like this was not on that list.
Not at all. And you come out of the locker room trailing, so that first drive to establish momentum is very key.
Crucial.
Now we take a glance at the offense as they work their way back out for their first possession of the second half. And they'll have good field position here following the interception and a chance to build on their lead as they start with a 1st and 10. Looking left side, he's got it complete. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. 15 yards through the air and a first down. Operating from the gun, Herrera. And this is incomplete.
Well, he certainly didn't like what he saw at all from the coverage on his primary reads, and he didn't even have any luck trying to get back to his safety valve. Give defense a credit. Coverage was in lockdown mode everywhere.
He'll try again with the arm here on 2nd down. Got a man, and he hits him in stride. And he will take it in for the touchdown. A great play there. His first touchdown on the year. And that interception key as it leads to the touchdown. So they get their tight end away from the line to the outside, and he works his way in for 6.
Tight ends are not just blockers anymore. I don't know how many more times we need examples, but here's a great one. Gets to the outside, they give him the ball pretty quickly, and they trust him to get those extra yards, and boy, did he come through, bowling his way into the end zone after the nice catch.
Point after, right down the middle, and that'll make this a 3-score game now. The lead moves to 17. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And a nice return sets them up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. The home team's offense and their quarterback ready to go once more. And it's been a struggle for him all afternoon. This defense has really done a nice job of making him earn everything he gets, and it's prevented him from getting into any kind of rhythm here today. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions.
Quick hitter here, it's complete. A 1-yard gain there following the 3-yard pickup on 1st down. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. They'll look to throw. And incomplete. He had nowhere to throw, so he just tossed it away. But that brings up fourth.
Well, they certainly aren't letting up today, partner, because they've forced big turnovers already. And it's been incredibly tough for them to get yards against, let alone put points up on the board.
So they're forced to punt on fourth as this one's away. So a change of possession here on the punt. The visitors' offense and their quarterback set to take the field once more. And as we show you some of the highlights from earlier, he has been instrumental in getting his guys the lead as he looks to finish strong and close this one out. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out. Looking to repeat that in Charles's defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways because you know they're both motivated. They both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other.
From the gun on third down, Herrera. And he takes us beyond the 35 before going out of bounds. 50 catches for him now on the year, and he's got a first down.
And while we may be looking at the scoreboard, this offense certainly is not because they're showing no signs of backing down, even with a 3-score lead here in the third quarter. I think they keep taking their shots. They've seen blown leads happen throughout this league. They don't want to fall victim to it themselves.
On first down, they'll go to the ground attack. And he'll take this ahead for about 4. Second down coming up.
And that was a quality play to start a new set of downs. That was simply an offensive line winning the battle up front and winning in a big way and giving their guy in the backfield a nice lane to hit.
That's into the hands of Edwards. And he has a big gain inside the 40 before being dropped. 60 catches for him now on the year. This last one, a first down. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front, defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
Over the middle, complete. That's Edwards. Third catch for him on this drive alone, and it'll give him a first down. Back to throw. Herrera. And that nearly their first pick of the game, but it falls down to the ground incomplete. Here's 2nd and 10. In motion left goes a tight end. And 2nd and 10, he'll look to throw again. He finds his man, complete. That's Owens. 9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1. So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the first down. They'll look to throw for it on 3rd and 1. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. That one good for 7 as this long drive continues and the chains move again. From the 13 now, they work on 1st and 10. They'll bring a tight end in motion left. Looking to throw. Herrera throwing middle, and it's complete. That'll go for a gain of 7, and it's 2nd down.
It's a gain of 7. Brings up 2nd and 3 at the 6-yard line.
Back to throw. Herrera. And this is caught. For the moment, it's a touchdown, but multiple flags down, so let's sort this out. Now they face a 2nd and long following the holding penalty. Looking to throw. Herrera. And that is going to be incomplete as he led him a bit too much. Just a little beyond the reach there of his receiver. That's probably one he wishes he had back.
He wishes it had been 7-on-7 in practice, or maybe even routes versus air, because that's a completion he makes, 9.9 times out of 10? Just missed that one.
He did his best to just get 4 out of that, but not enough. And now 4th down.
So much about this game is just understanding situations and then having to execute, isn't it? Guard the first down sticks. Don't let them get there. And they rallied and made the tackle.
And his kick here is good. And that will extend their lead even further. So 3 more points tacked on, and this margin getting more comfortable by the minute.
And with the lead where it is, you can actually feel good about field goals. We talk all the time about scoring 6s, not 3s. But in this case, they're just looking to chew up some time and come away with points.
And able to take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. Out is Mexico City now to go on offense. Charles, a very uninspired effort. The last time we saw them out there was a quick 3-and-out, then they punted the football.
Yeah, and you never want to get stopped so soundly during a series, but what would be even worse now is letting it happen again right here. They've got to get going.
From the 32-yard line now, here's a 2nd down and 6. Looking to throw. Looking middle, and that's complete. So give them 5 yards there on the pitch and catch, and that will bring up 3rd and 1. They'll try and run for this with Evans. And he's got the first before he's brought down at the 39-yard line. 3 yards there, good enough to keep the drive moving.
Brandon, what were they thinking on defense there? They looked like they were playing for the pass. That was 3rd and short. Yeah, it was an easy pickup because they handed it to him. That was way too easy.
Just looked like absolute confusion defensively. Not sure why they were in that set.
Yeah, I'd say you should have a few men in the box there.
11 yards on the pickup there. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. This duo locked in, 14 yards there, and a 1st down.
And that's the kind of play this offense needs to maybe kick them into gear a little bit. They've been stuck in neutral much of the game. Perhaps that can give them a little bit of confidence that big plays are out there.
Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10. Evans running straight ahead. And he'll snag about 5 yards down to the 32.
Not too many offenses want to turn down long drives, but when you're down what they are, they've got to pay it off with some points.
So it looks like somebody may have forgotten the snap count, and a 5-yard penalty ensues. The false start penalty, and now they're back to needing 10 yards on 2nd down. They're going to look to throw. A quick throw, but incomplete.
And there's another stop. One of the league's best defenses is certainly bringing it again this week.
Out of the gun now on 3rd down. Eluding the pressure right. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. And now that brings up 4th down there, a loss of 6 yards on the sack. I don't care if you're taking it in round 1, you're undrafted, whatever. As a rookie quarterback in this league, you're going to have games where you face adversity like this.
Lessons. All the time you're going to face these lessons. The key for this guy is, will he be able to bounce back in the next one? Because right now, this has not been his game.
Well, the Louisville offense back out now. And as we look back at how we got here, you'll notice a common theme in these highlights. A lot of yardage through the air. The passing game has been sharp right from the outset. The field position game, such an overlooked facet, Charles, of an NFL game, but this offense, they're going to be pinned back. What an ideal punt.
An ideal punt, and it leads to that term complementary football, because them doing that puts their defense in a great spot, doesn't it? Gives them a chance. If they want to be aggressive, try and maybe get a safety out of this whole thing, it puts them in that position.
We have played 3 quarters. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports.
Back now in Mexico City. As we've got the final quarter upon us, we get ready to start the fourth. On second down, they'll run it here. And tackled down after a gain of 3. Leaves him with 1 yard to go on third down. This offense so far on third down, they've converted 3 times and 8 chances. They need just a yard here. It's 3rd and 1. That is caught. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. They're able to convert with a gain of 4. And they'll run on the inside handoff. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. Second down. From the 22 now, here's second down and 7. And they'll give him another shot here on the ground. And he can muster only a couple here to the 24.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
Just a gain of 2 there, and it's going to bring up a 4th down.
When we talk about defenders, specifically linebackers, keeping their eyes in the right spot, he had that eye down the entire time.
And you know that's not easily done because they throw a lot of misdirection at you. They try and fool you and get your eyes in the wrong place. But you're right about that one. He correctly figured that one out and made a really nice play.
A 41-yard punt, 9 on the return.
Out is Mexico City now to go on offense. Facing a big fourth quarter deficit here, things not looking good. You know, this offense, though, they've been in the top half of the NFL so far this season, but in this one, well, their defense has really struggled.
A good convergence there defensively, only a yard, and it's second down. They'll set up a throw. Throwing left side here, and it's complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory.
First and 10 at the 47-yard line.
Back to throw now on first down. And he's got his man in stride, complete. Call it a gain of 6 on the play, and it's second down.
A 6-yard pickup brings up 2nd and 4 at the 41-yard line.
On play action, they'll throw. And now the ball's out. Fumble near midfield. And this will be scooped up by the defense. Does the big boy have the juice? Down to the 10. And he's going to bring the fumble back for a touchdown. And Charles, look at the big fella. What a rumble that was. Not only to scoop it, but then take it the rest of the way for the touchdown.
And now you know they're going to have to hear about it from now on. The defensive backs, he's going to want to run with them, do their drills, the whole deal. He thinks he's the pace setter now.
It doesn't matter what happens in practice this week. He's smiling. Now the try here for the point after. And that stretches the lead to 27. So not only the cough up, but then the pickup on the other side, the scoop, and the score the other way, the fumble return for a touchdown. So here's the kickoff now as they'll get it again following that fumble return for a score.
And out a little across the 25 to the 27. And now this offense comes back out onto the field. And this group has suffered far too many self-inflicted wounds thus far as we run through some of the mistakes. It's darn near impossible to win in this league when you're turning the ball over at the frequency that they have. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. Well, I think that the folks here had hoped that maybe this home atmosphere would carry their guys to a surprise victory, but it does not appear that that's going to be the case. There's too much to handle on the other side in this one.
It's a big play there. 47 yards.
And the offense is saying to itself right now, if only they were all this easy, because he was wide open. And once he made the catch, plenty of room to work his way downfield. That was a breakdown on the defensive side of the ball, one that they want to fix immediately.
That's going to be caught by Rivers. This will be a short gain of 3 before he's brought down at the 22. And they'll come up 2nd and 7. Now back to throw. And he's going to be taken down here. A sack back at the 32. They'll wind up losing 10 on the sack, and it'll lead to a 3rd and long. And you hate to say it with a rookie quarterback. He's done some good things, but overall, looked a little bit overwhelmed back there, hasn't he?
He certainly has. But in his defense, he hasn't had a lot of time to throw the football. You like the way I said that? In his defense?
In his defense. I got it.
You see what I did there?
Yeah, he needs better protection, that's for sure. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Looking left side, it's complete. He's got it. And he'll take it down here just shy of the 15 at the 16-yard line. They'll wind up with 17 on that one, but they're still a bit short here for 4th. Got to try it here. He's back to throw. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. The 4th down pass play doesn't work out. And as a result, possession switches hands. So they've gone for it twice now on 4th down in this game, and both times unsuccessful.
I wish we could hear the headsets now between the head coach and the offensive coordinator. Now that they're 0 for 2, if they get into a 3rd situation, head coach might say, hey, you got anything for this one? Might get radio silence back.
And nothing much materializing there on the 1st down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it. Here's a 2nd and 8. Up the middle they go. It's Wolf. And he'll find some space up to about the 25. Give him 8 yards there. Still a few inches to go, though, as it'll be 3rd down and about the length of the football. From the gun on 3rd down, Herrera. And he'll be taken down, but he does have 1st down yardage. Only 3 there on the pickup, but that's enough to move the chains. On 1st down, they'll go to the ground attack. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11. Hey, a lot of points have been scored in this game against them, but tally that one on the side of the defense.
Do you think maybe, possibly, it could be a little bit of a changer for them? Maybe not a game changer, but a little bit of a momentum one that maybe they can string together some pretty good plays and slow them down.
A bit of a jump there, CD. He breaks the line, and that'll be 5 yards.
And you've got to stay more disciplined than that, Brandon. That's just a free gift to the offense.
And now they face a 2nd and 6 after the penalty. They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. 53 yards rushing for him now in the ball game.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
From the gun on 3rd down, Herrera. And he'll be taken down, but he does have 1st down yardage. 8 yards on the pickup there, and it moves the sticks.
When you have someone throwing it that well, that confidently, you don't have to call the game in fear at all, do you? You just go ahead and play.
Yep, confidence with a lead to throw it here in the 4th, and boom, he's on the money.
Yeah, you don't have to tuck your head in and go like turtle at this point. You can just go ahead and play.
On 1st down, they'll go to the ground attack. And he'll be down at the 46. So they go from 146 to the other on a pickup of 8. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's our visitors with a football as we get you reset. They've got a 2nd down now as they look to salt this one away.
They'll fake it on the jet sweep, and instead a handoff up the middle. And a good job of finding the open space to run as he's down close to the 30 here. 15 yards on the play, first down. No doubt those are the types of carries they're looking for here, Charles. The lead in the fourth quarter. This is when coaches that have a reliable running game, they breathe a little easier on the sideline.
Yeah, they love the idea that they can take the air out of the football at this point of the game. That means they're really counting on that offensive line, counting on the runners, taking care of the football. Because you're going to tell your quarterback, hey, no time to be a hero. We're not going to throw it here. Just eat up that clock. And if you have the ball, they can't score.
From the gun, he'll hand this off. And he's able to get it to the edge of the red zone at the 20-yard line. That one, a first down pickup of 8.
Well, that's a carry they have to be satisfied with. And throughout this game, they've been satisfied with what he's given them. Whenever they've needed a big run, a first down, he's the guy they've turned to. And it doesn't matter what the defense thinks. They feel like they've got the confidence to keep handing it to him and keep picking up good yardage.
So this crowd will not go home happy. It's a victory for our visitors. Well, on one side of this, Charles, an impressive victory. On the other, I mean, you think about it, they scored in the first quarter, but then they didn't score in quarters 2, 3, or 4. They're going to have a lot of work to do before stepping back on the field.
Yeah, it'll be an interesting tape to analyze, won't it? Because why did it work in the first quarter, but nothing in quarters 2, 3, and 4? So we always talk about adjustments. You don't just wait till halftime. You do it series to series. They'll be working on that in preparation for their next game.
So for Louisville, they keep pace in the playoff race as they move to 8-3 on the year. And they will head back home next week. Meanwhile, for Mexico City, they've fallen out of things now as they sink to 3-8. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week. And for Charles Davis and our entire crew here at EA Sports, I'm Brandon Gaudin saying so long, everybody.